Hello everyone, this is a very deep dive on how to use Karolina Dean, and today I'll be going through 2 seasons worth of Alliance War videos to talk about how to use her. She's a new champion to Titan, and she does a lot of damage. So to be very brief and simplistic, all you need to do is stay in the sun, block specials, and throw L2s. So essentially you can see that that's what I'm doing here against Dust, staying in the sun and just throwing specials on my L2. I can also block specials and I get glancing by consuming the iridescence buffs that I gain from the sun. So as you can see, Dust is almost dead here. I throw one more L1 and they are dead. So let's talk a bit about Karolina's abilities. Essentially, she gains one iridescence buff every time she is in the sun, and this slowly builds up over time. You can use iridescence buffs for 3 main things. The first one is to gain power, which you can see here she gains power for each buff that she has up to 6. That doesn't really matter, all you need to do is just stay in the sun. The next one is to get her glancing buff. So every time she blocks a hit, she consumes buffs to get glancing instead. This glancing is very potent and allows her to stay alive. So the main thing that you want to know is that blocking gives you glancing, which gives you energy vulnerability. This will increase your damage output, so you do want to consume as much as you can. You only can get a maximum of 6 at a time, but just make sure that when you throw your L2 you have at least 4 or 5. That increases the damage by about 40%, even though the number doesn't look like much. It's 40% incinerate potency. Very good. The last one which you need to know is that each buff on the L2 is consumed to put an incinerate passive. Her special 2 is about a 5-hit special 2, so you need 5 iridescence buffs. And the way she works is that for each incinerate on the opponent, she does a burst amount of damage. So the more incinerates you have, the more the burst is. With that is about it for Karolina. I guess one more thing is that if you want to increase her damage a bit more, her Sig ability increases her incinerate potency by even more for each useless buff on her, and this is up to 6. So I would recommend Sig 100 because at Sig 100 she gets 4% potency, and at max Sig it's 5%. So it's only a 1% bonus, or times 6, so 6% bonus. That's up to you though. Alright, so now we'll just go back a bit more and talk about this fight one more time. As you can see from this fight, Dust is not incinerate immune, so we can play her perfectly fine. We also have that buff that allows us to parry non-contact. So as you can see, Dust on her light hit still can be hit. So here I throw my first L2 with 3 energy vulns, and that is roughly like the average spot that you're gonna get. After blocking the special 2, you're gonna get 6, which is your max, where you can dump your next L2, and that's where the big damage comes from. But if you can, which is pretty rare in most fights, throwing the third L2 with 12 incinerates will do basically a 400k L2, which is the biggest hit that you want to do. And yeah, that's about it for Karolina. So now we'll just be going through roughly all the war interactions that I have with her. So here we have an arcade. This is one of my earlier seasons before I started learning how to use like strong power backs. Maybe I use one here. Yeah, you're gonna see me use one here. So the biggest thing about Karolina is that she is roughly designed to the point where you wouldn't. It's a bit tight between her special 2s. Like her incinerate will fall off pretty easily and her vulnerabilities will fall off. So power backs are really useful at allowing her to get increased damage output, which she isn't really designed to get. So you can see I just get my 4 vulnerabilities and I immediately throw my L2. And just like that, Arcade's at half health. Fight's almost over, I just need to get this L2 off and he's dead. And yeah, that is about how most tech fights go. This was 22 seconds. Let's go in a bit more. This is a shocker over here on... It's either bubble or on one other thing. Oh, okay, so this is a Fate Seal node. So we start Fate Sealed, and over here you can see I just need to play still, wait for me to slowly get my buffs, which I do. And yeah, we just play this normally. It's a pretty chill fight. Your shocker is just playing around, We're slowly getting the sun, building up our buffs, waiting for Incinerate phase to come in. Here's the Incinerate phase, and I should be good to go. There you go, that's my first L2. And just like that, Shocker will go down pretty swiftly. I just need to make sure that I don't get hit by this unblockable, which I might. I think I did. Yeah, it's quite straightforward. Oh, I guess I don't. Yeah, this is a quite straightforward fight. You just need to wait things out, play slowly. There are times where it's a bit unlucky and you won't be able to get into the sun, but as long as you build up your passives, everything is just a-okay, perfectly fine. 1 minute over there, it's a very good fight. Alright, now let's move on. This is a Zola on Hazard Shift Cold Snap Bleed. Yeah, most important thing for Zola is that you can parry non-contact, so just make sure to parry, stay in the sun as much as possible. For Zola, there is one more thing which you can take note of, which is her heavy attack. So while in the sun, she has the Doctor Doom kind of heavy, where charging it stuns you for a bit, which or stuns the opponent for a bit, which allows you to stay in the sun. You may see me use it from time to time here. I don't know if I do it here exactly, but you can see Zola is like absolutely getting melted already, and I think he's dead. Yeah, that's it. So it's very straightforward for hazard shift nodes. You just are half immune, you just hit the block for a while, or you just charge your heavy to stay slow, and you get most of your damage dished out by your burst damage. The incinerates also do a decent amount, so you can rely on it when you don't have your burst up. And that's basically it for Karolina. So let's just go through all the fights that I have. This is a Warlock fight which I died on. I've only died with Karolina twice in my 2 seasons, and one was against Shocker eating an L1. The other one was this one. So let's look at this one a bit. As you can see, this is a Warlock on Stun Reflect. So Stun Reflect, it's gonna be kind of bad because you can't really gain power other than from Sun, but it's still a pretty okay fight. Once you get that first L2 off, you get your Incinerates. So here you can see I messed up because I thought I reached my L2, but I hadn't yet. So as a result, now I have to wait for L2 again, and there's gonna be this SP2, which I miss and get hit by. And Warlock's gonna do pretty gnarly heavy soon. I recover a little bit, but you'll see at some point I just eat a heavy, 120k, and I die. So yeah, do be careful on stun reflect nodes. Things can go wrong pretty quickly because you can't parry. And of course, if you do fight Warlock, make sure to get willpower make sure to turn off willpower, because as you can see here, Warlock did reverse my power by quite a bit towards the end, so do watch out for that. Alright, next up we have another Zola. This is on One Eye Open. So One Eye Open, you have to be careful not to parry before you throw your specials. Yeah, that's about it. Just be careful. One thing that's pretty nice with Karolina is that you can heavy from pretty far away and it will still hit the opponent. But you can see here I'm using that heavy technique to just stay in the sun for longer, just to build some more. It's pretty tame at the start, even with OEO, because I don't lose anything from charging my heavy. So you can see here I can charge my heavy pretty safely. Not really gonna take much damage back, and now we can start going crazy. So that's my first L2 off with about 3 vulnerabilities. We're gonna get another one off pretty soon. I'm gonna try to bait something here. Am I gonna bait it? Nope, I'm just gonna go for the kill. Yeah, because Karolina just doesn't really... I don't really need to be too concerned. I can just get my other bar of power and yeah, Zola will be dead. Yeah, that's pretty okay. Let's see the next one. We have a Sentinel. Yep, so we got a Sentinel over here. All topped up. Let's see. And I'm using a power back because I think I'm going to be using it later on again. So this is a Sentinel on a node Rich Get Richer. So Rich Get Richer, you're going to get a lot more power. And because of that, you're going to see me move pretty fast. I'm alternating my combos here just so that I can not build up that burst reduction. But honestly, it doesn't even matter because you can see on the second L2, he is dead. This man is super dead. And yeah, just like that, Just L2, L2, L1 would kill most tech champions. 20-second fight. Yeah, I think we got one more in the tank for this war. It's a Yolena. Yep. So this is a Yolena on Cold Snap Blade Conflictor. It'd be nice if you have White Magneto here, because if you had Wags, um, you wouldn't need to parry at all. Like parry wouldn't matter in this fight. You would have like all passive debuffs, and you wouldn't need to be bothered by Conflictor. But here, you just really don't want to parry. Throw your specials, play normally, and just be chill. Yeah, one good thing about this fight is that you can technically block the entire special and glance it all, like over here. So you can see the glancing just permanently gets rid of everything, and it just puts you in a good position. But honestly, if I were you in this matchup, I would still try to learn how to dex the specials, because it forced me to throw an L1 here since I ran out of buffs. So yeah, it does consume buffs. Be careful when you do this. I much prefer dexing L2. It's more comfortable for me and safer. But yeah, to his their own. It's just better to maintain the tempo by dexing the specials. Yeah. And over here you can see I've dropped my second L2. She's at about 50%, which is okay. I'm trying to line up my third L2, which over here is going to do some gnarly damage because I got 6 vulnerabilities and 12 incinerates. And yeah, with that, he's almost dead. And there she goes. Pretty straightforward. Yeah, I've done this fight a few more times, so you'll see. This is a Zola and BGs, so I just want to show like roughly what she would look like in Battlegrounds. Very, very fast matchup. This one's even more difficult, is with Exonerate, so, or with Exonerable. Exonerable is the one where you get locked if you get your opponent gets rooted. So if the sun is behind you for Karolina, things get a little bit tricky. So as you can see over here, even though I hit him, if the sun is behind him, I will never get them in the sun, which is a bit dangerous. So for Karolina, it's very simple. You just throw one L2, you get to the other L2, and you're dead. So yeah, over here, this is an example of what I mean by the Exonerate just being a little bit annoying. But if there's no Exonerate, it is just very straightforward. The second L2 does 10 more billion damage, and Zola goes 46 seconds. This fight can go much faster, but yeah, that's just one example. Alright, here's another fight against Bastion. So one thing about Bastion which you do need to note is that his ability with his infection reduces the chance of passive effects or passive energy DOT from triggering. And Karolina's incinerates are passive DOT. So you will see that over here when I throw my L2, not all the incinerates are applying. And that does affect your damage. Fortunately, Karolina's damage is just so broken that I don't really need those incinerate bursts. But yeah, just do take note that he can fail them. So for some matchups, it'll be a little bit stinky. Yeah, we're gonna move up a bit more to this future Ant-Man here. I take off my suicides because it's a Cold Snap node. And yeah, we're gonna fight Fantman now. So Fantman on the same node, Cold Snap Bleed. There is one thing to know about the future Ant-Man, which is also very similar. He has 95% reduced incinerate duration against any champion. And because of that, your incinerates are going to fall off after your L2, which is going to make it quite hard for stacking. So you can see over here, a fairly straightforward fight. You're just going to play your Karolina normally, stay in the sun, just build up charges. You can build up vulnerabilities while you're at it, and yeah, it's a very straightforward fight. Get that heavy in last second there, which is quite nice. And yeah, just start chilling. I'm gonna throw my L2 here, and this is where you're gonna see the incinerates fall fairly quickly. Yeah, there we go. So you do want to either chain an L2 L1 or just like slowly get to your L2s one at a time and just dump them on Fantman. It should do more than enough damage. And yeah, as you can see here, I just throw 2 separate L2s and 1 extra L1, and there he goes. Straightforward future Ant-Man fight. Alright, my next one is a Zola on Polka. So Zola and Polka, same thing as Warlock, same cards on the table. It's very dangerous because you can't parry at the start and you don't get incinerates until your L2. So the main key goal is to get him all the way, like you get to your L2, and you just make sure you manage yourself while getting to that L2. You can see I did a random heavy in the air. That's because I am trying to get that heavy off. But yeah, it's pretty far reaching, so once you get one off, it's relatively okay. And Zola doesn't hit very hard, so he's not going to kill you if he does combo you a bit. But yeah, this fight is okay. I wouldn't give it like a A star star. It's still kind of iffy. But there we go. We got our incinerate off, and this just means the fight goes smooth from here. I think I either I either go to sleep here or I throw a heavy. Okay, I throw the heavy. Yeah. And stun reflect is back, so I just need to slowly build up to my next L2, which I'm gonna get right about here. And once I do, Zola is dead. There we go. Pretty okay fight, I would say. Zola on this node is still fairly simple. Can be smoother than what I did, but yeah. This Zola, is it boss? I have no idea. Let's see. Can we skip this one? It's a hazard shift. I mean, I can show it. It's just pretty straightforward though. Get to your L2. Yeah, nothing too much to write home about. You just get to your L2. I think this is the one I open node, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, it's the one I open node. So you can see I just throw my heavies. I don't really need to worry too much. Just throw my L2, and he's dead on one eye open. There we go. How long is this one? 39 seconds. Yep. Alright, here's an Alliance War one on Photon, just to show you like roughly how the fights work. That's SIG 200, rank 4 Photon. But yeah, for Karolina, it's very straightforward, right? There's no difference in war. This one has foresight, but honestly, foresight doesn't really matter that much. You're still doing a mega dillion damage with Karolina. You just want to block specials, like here. Unstoppable is pretty useful, gets you your openings. And yeah, you just block specials and dump specials. That's it for her, yeah. You can see damage is absolutely crazy. And we just get to one more L2, and she's dead. That was a pretty fast, about 41 seconds. Yep. Let's see, this one is a Zola. I don't know where. Okay, this one's important. So this Zola is on the right boss island mini, fight or flight. This is a pretty tricky node for Karolina, so this is one of the things that you have to take note, which is that Karolina does not ignore miss. She has a lot of things, but utility is one of the things she doesn't have. So when it comes to miss, evade, auto block, these are things that she does not have immunity to. So you do gotta play careful. Things can go wrong if the opponent has those, so do watch out. You're gonna see here one example of what I mean. The unblockable is pretty nice, but yeah, I'm gonna have an issue here where I throw my special and I'm fully faltered. So don't do that. It can be dangerous, and watch out for those three things. Alright, next one. This is a Bleed Conflictor Karolina. Yolena. I think this one I added to the compilation because it was a fight that went wrong. So I do want to show you what to do if the fight does go wrong. And as you can see here, generally at the start of the fight things go fairly tame. But at some point I didn't do enough damage and she got into elimination mode. So I want to show roughly what happens. Okay, yeah. So I dumped my second L2. It's pretty convenient to get it off with my 6 bones. At this point, I wasn't confident by dexing the L2, and I got hit. So that pushed her straight to disarm mode. And yeah, what do you do when you're in this situation? So for me, what I do is just get back in the sun. That's the most important thing. Hit the block, stay in the sun, and once she enters elimination mode, just be careful and slowly get to your L2. Your L2 damage is not reduced once you are in out of elimination mode, so you can just slowly get to it, throw it once and it should kill her. And yeah, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. And I messed it up. I mean, yeah, I had a few nerves when I got to this point, but it's still okay because of glancing. You can see glancing makes it fairly tame, even if you get hit by like stuff in the block. There's no guaranteed crit because of the glance, so things are fairly okay. And yeah, you can see I just get back to an R1, throw it, um, and she's almost dead. Play it slow, play it straight, and you'll be okay. Yeah, but ideally you just want to get to an L2 and kill off. So yeah, I should have just stayed in the sun there and thrown my L2, would have been unblockable. And yeah, that's how you deal with Yolena. Alright, this is one on Future Ant-Man Polka. I think this fight I have done many times, but this is another dangerous one where I messed up and I nearly died. I think. I think it's this one. If it's not this one, then you see the good fight, then I'll show you the bad one after. But yeah, it's a very straightforward fight as well, right? You just hold block and you wait until you get to your L2. Only dangerous thing about this fight is that you always want to start with power start 1, because if not, it's like very hard to get to that special. Yeah, but you can see here, oh, yeah, there we go. So I got hit at the start. Future Ant-Man doesn't throw his L2, but I think he throws at some point eventually. Yeah, thanks Future Ant-Man. Alright, there we go. So I do light hits in between to get some space between each other, which is very useful because space allows you to get more ground back into the sun after they dash in. And it paid off, but you can see he's being a little bit uncooperative, throwing 5-hit combos. But yeah, it still works out pretty well. Get comboed again, which brings me awfully close to death. So yeah, this is the one I messed up. It got very dangerous, but as long as you play safe and you just keep using your glancing, you'll be okay. No matter how low your health is. The glancing, like, really, it tanks a lot. And yeah, it works out just fine. And there we go. Yeah, that was a dangerous fight. But I lived, I didn't die, so all is well. This is a power focus 2 cold snap Yolena. Pretty straightforward fight. I don't think there's much to show. Yeah, it's just your straightforward Yolena fight. Blocking stuff. That's the spacing you can do if you do glancing. You can just block the first hit, do one light hit, then dex the last hit. Yep. And this fight, very straightforward fight. Didn't even get to. It's only a 50 combo and she's down. Yeah. Very straightforward fight. Power focus too. Alright. This one is a shocker. Okay, so this shocker is on inexorable. Inexorable, sorry. I keep saying it wrong. On inexorable, you do want to be careful, like I said. Just be careful with blocking hits. It will make it difficult, like here. I can't get back into the sun, which puts me in a dangerous position, especially if they're about to get to their L2. So yeah, do be careful. It's a little bit dangerous, but it works out. Just gotta throw L1s to top yourself up if you're in danger. And get back into the sun as soon as you can. So yeah, do be careful of inexorable. This node can be very tricky at some point. But yeah, it seems pretty okay for now. Just dropped my L2, I didn't even need any energy vuln there. And it kind of works out. Only issue is, again, like, you're just playing while not in the sun, so you have a very limited amount of charges, and you want to be careful about that. Finally, the sun plays in my favor. I get hit once, but it's fine. I just need to push him into the sun to get my blockable, throw my L2, and you're dead. Yeah, no vulnerabilities there, just pure SP2 damage. And that's about it for my showcases. So yeah, if not, that's about it for Karolina. I hope you guys enjoyed. Best of luck using her. Very useful champ. I guess last thing I would show is that for my stat focus and my relic, I just put block proficiency, because block prof is something that is nice to have. Just makes blocking specials like really not punishing at all. So it's either block prof or going special damage. And that's about it. So yeah, take care.